Yo boys, it's Dan. Welcome to game week number 5 of the Champions League. We're at the penultimate game week of the Champions League. What will happen? Who will be heading out of the Champions League? Who will put their places in the last 16? Find out next. Yes, boys, welcome to the Champions League again. And today we have an absolute banger. Champions League, another round of fixtures here. And we're going to start off with 5:45 and we're heading to Group E. And we're going to Lazio in Italy for Lazio versus Celtic. Now, last time these two teams played on match day number 2, if these are all games being played for match day 2, this game ended up being a 2-1 win to Lazio at Celtic. But Celtic, I don't know how Celtic are doing okay in the group, but I mean, I would still say that it would be a superb win for the Italians again by the same scoreline of 2-1. And the other game at 5:45 is in Poland. I think they're still playing games in Poland. Is Shakhtar Donetsk versus Royal Antwerp. Now, the last time these two teams were played in Belgium, it ended up being a 3-2 win to Shakhtar Donetsk. This is the group with Group H. This is the Barcelona-Porto group. To be fair, these two teams here are pretty much fighting over the wooden spoon, pretty much. I mean, Barcelona and Porto are teams that are going to be through in this group. But it is to basically find to see who goes through to the Europa League playoffs, which I think they're doing this year. And I'm going to go with Shakhtar Donetsk 3, Royal Antwerp 1. And those are all the games done on Tuesday night at 5:45. There we go. From Poland all the way over to Feyenoord and to the league leaders in the Eredivisie for Feyenoord versus Atletico de Madrid. Now last time these two teams played, this ended up being a 3-2 win to Milan. No, not Milan. Flipping it, mate. To Madrid, to Atletico. And I think that it would be the same thing again. I do think that Atletico can get the same result here against the Eredivisie League leaders. It would be Feyenoord 2, Atletico de Madrid fully same scoreline as it was in the last time as well. And now we go to Paris Saint-Germain versus Newcastle now. I don't need to mind the score this time, you know what the score is already. Last time these two teams played, it was 4-1 to Newcastle at Tyneside. This group here, though, is still all to play for. Milan, PSG are winning it comfortably. Newcastle are second on goals, between Milan, Dortmund and Newcastle. Any of those three could still join PSG in the knockouts. But if you're Newcastle, you want to win this game, I'm gonna go Newcastle 2, PSG 1. It's gonna be a tough place going to Paris. It's gonna be a tough place going there. But I think that they can get the job done, and I think it's gonna be 3-2-1 to Newcastle. And I go to Milan versus Borussia Dortmund. Last time these two teams played, ended up being in Dortmund at the San Iduna Park. It was a boring 0-0, but at the San Siro, what will happen at the San Siro? Will it be a 0-0? Dortmund need it to episode of them now. I'm going to go Milan 2, Dortmund 2. It'll be a goal fest of another game. And now we go to Man City's group and to Man City versus RB Leipzig. Now we know how much Man City love to play against teams like this. And in this game, last game finished being 3-1 to Man City in Leipzig. But now they're at Etihad. They love to play football at the Etihad. And I'm going to go Man City 4, RB Leipzig 0 to stamp the authority on this group. And in the other half of the group, playing for Europa League, is FC Young Boys versus Savannah Zvezda. And in this game at Savannah Zvezda, at Wesda Belgrade, it was 2-2 between these two teams. 2-2 between these two in Wesda but in Switzerland on the artificial pitch. What will Young Boys do about this? They will probably want to win it. I'm going to say it'll be FC Young Boys 2, Red Star Belgrade 0. Now we move to the last game on the Tuesday, and it's at 8 o'clock, and it's back in Group G. No, Group H is FC Barcelona versus Porto. Now at Porto, it ended up being a 1-0 win to Barcelona, but at the Camp Nou, Barcelona have not had the best start to life in La Liga. They're 11 games in and they're not in the top 2. It's between Real Madrid, yes, and Genoa. You're probably thinking, who on earth would know? I'll get into that. I might do a video on that. I might have to do a video on how good. That's for later on. That's for later in the piece. But Barcelona Porto, I'm going to go 1-0 to Barcelona to stamp the authority on that group. Now we move into, that is all of Tuesday's games done. We now hop foot it to Wednesday. And at 5:45 in a crucial game in Group A is Galatasaray versus Manchester United. Last time out at Old Trafford, it ended up being 3-2 to Galatasaray. But Manchester United need to win this game. If we stand any chance of progressing through to the last 16, we need to beat Galatasaray at Galatasaray, which is the hardest place to go in world football pretty much, and hope and then beat Bayern Munich at Bayern to progress, and then just hope after that then it's all jealous, it's all digital thing. But I'll get into what actually is the full effect in the next game week, in the next video in the Champions League. But for this game, we have to win this. Man United 2, guess 1-0. Come on, the boys, let's win. And hope at Bayern can do us a huge favour. And I move to Group B, and to the last game at 5:45 is Sevilla versus PSV. Now in the return return leg, it finished 2-2 between these two teams, and I'm gonna say it will be another draw here. This is the Arsenal bit, to be fair. This is the Arsenal group. This Arsenal group is so tight between these four teams. And I'm going to say it'll be Seville 2, PSV 3. PSV will just about nick it. They're fighting. And now we move to 8 o'clock. And we have to go back into Group A, which is Bayern München versus FC Copenhagen. Now, Bayern won this game against these two 2-1. To be fair, Copenhagen are a very, very good footballing team. A very good footballing team, FC Copenhagen. And I'm going to say that FC Copenhagen will lose because they need to lose to Man United. 3-0 to Bayern Munich, and Harry Kane will score again because he always seems to score at the moment. And we move back to Group B again. It's the same order. Group A, Group B, 8 o'clock for Arsenal versus RC Lens. And in this game, this was the shock result. This ended up being in France 2-1 to Lens. what will happen in this game. Arsenal, I mean, they need to win. They only just beat Brighton on the weekend in the Premier League, so I don't know what will happen. But I'm gonna say Arsenal 2, Lens 2 in this game, and we have our first adventure into Group C, and we go to Real Madrid versus Napoli, the two teams in this group that are running away with the league in the group. This game, return leg, finished 3-2 to Real Madrid, but they're also trying to tell you in the league with Genoa, and I'm going to say that it will be Real Madrid 3, Napoli 2 again. And we move and staying in Group C with Sporting Club de Braga versus Union Berlin. Now, in the return leg in Berlin, in the Union, it finished 3-2 to Braga. But I've seen Union Berlin have had a good season. They haven't had a good season. They are not doing that well in the Bundesliga. They're bottom in the Bundesliga. So I think a Champions League exit would actually help them out, trying to get themselves in the Bundesliga. And I'm gonna say Braga to win it 3-0 against Union Berlin. And that's our lot. And then we move to our last group of the game week, and it's heading into and it's Group D for Benfica versus Inter. In this return leg, it finished 1-0 at the San Siro to Inter. Two evenly matched teams again. And I am going to say that Inter will just nick this game by 2-1. And our last game of the game week is Real Sociedad versus Salzburg. Now, this time out, these two teams last time out put on an entertaining. Put on for us a 2-0 win to Sociedad, and Sociedad wins again. I'm gonna go Sociedad 2. They're playing again. Salzburg 0, and that will bring this video to an end. Thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you lot on Wednesday with an orange tinged of lights for our Europa League game week number 5 as well. That's even more closer. Find out what happens in that one on Wednesday. But until then, boys, who will progress, who will be heading out of the Champions League, it's already found out in December. Until then, boys, peace.